Hello everyone. Hey, you guys back. Mr. Tag is finally back on YouTube and I'm going to be doing some Edison content. First, my very first video for Edison is going to be showing off my zombie cat, dead cat deck profile. So this deck, I had a local tournament on Saturday where I went X2, which is not enough for top 4, but it still went all right. There were definitely some sequences which I could have played better, and maybe we got X1 and maybe even topped. That'd have been nice. And also had a little friendly tournament with friends a couple of days before. Went completely undefeated, did not drop a single game, which just kind of shows off the power of Zombie Cat. Also should be noted, at the local tournament, I went X2. I did not win a single dice roll the entire day, which probably didn't help my chances. So anyway, let's get on with the profile. First of all, starting off with, of course, as you can see, Mr. Goblin Zombie. Of course, mandatory in any zombie deck. Such as anything when you send it, it's really good. And then we have Double Pyramid Turtle. Funnily enough, there was one game where it would have mattered if I ran 3 of these, but I only run 2 because of space. And of course, Double Zombie Master. It's searchable. You could probably even cut this down to 1. I sometimes do side out 1. Depending on the matchup, so that's always there. Mizuki, pretty mandatory in zombies. Most of these are mandatory in zombies, so there's no real discussion about that one. Just a really good card. Can you imagine if this was at more than one, zombies would go off. Plague Spreader Zombie, again, mandatory in zombies. It's mandatory in almost any mill deck, but come on, zombies, it's a zombie. Why would you not play this in zombies? And the one Spirit Reaper to stall, threaten hand rips, which we do a lot in this deck. We always threaten hand rips. And yeah, so that's the zombie package. I was pretty happy with it overall. Like I said, the only time I wasn't was that one game where if I had 3 Pyramid Turtle, I probably could have clawed back, but I only had 2, and then I died. So the next part, just doing the cat package. So of course you have the one Rescue Cat. Oh, I love this card so much. I really wish it was at more than 1, but if it was at more than 1, cat decks would be something like top tier decks. Of course, you have Summon a Monk for Cat. Summon a Monk in this deck, there's actually not that many spells, so it's actually not that great. I would say, obviously when you have Monk and you pitch a spell, it feels like the best thing in the world, but when you draw Monk and you don't have any spells, or you draw Monk Cat, it's just like, well, what is this thing doing in my deck? And of course, triple Airbellum to always be threatening that hand rip and to go into big synchros. So actually I remember now, round 2, game 1, my opponent goes first, obviously. I draw Heavy Storm their back row. I have Cat and Charge of the Light Brigade. So I Cat, go into double Airbellum, strike them twice. I charge, I mill Mizuki, another zombie, and something else. So I'm able to bring the zombie back out, make a synchro, plus off that. And then, of course, my opponents are down so much and they just couldn't come back. And then that happened game 2, except halfway through the match instead of, at the start. But then again, as soon as that happened, they scooped. And I was like, that's the power of just threatening hand rips all the time. And of course, we also have a Light Swan package, because we want a mill, double Raiko and Lila. I think this is fine. I don't think you really need 3 Raiko. There are a lot of normal summons in this deck, so having another Raiko probably wouldn't be the best. And then just some other generic cards. We've got double Caius, Sangan to search cat or zombies if we need to. Necrogun is good for milling. Card Droop is good for milling, and of course Gauze and Dark Arm Dragon. As you've probably already noticed as well, there's a lot of limited and semi-limited cards in this deck. It's kind of like powerhouse cards, the deck. It's actually kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But if I was going to cut something, cutting Monk just feels wrong, but also it sometimes just feels right. I don't know. Onto the spells, of course, playing zombies, so we run double Book of Life. It's Reborn and a DD Crow. Why wouldn't you run this in zombies? Since playing a cat deck, we run double Pot of Avarice. We mill a lot in this deck, so Avarice is normally live, and of course, if you resolve cat, then your Avarice is basically live from there. So it's completely fine. As long as you can keep 1 zombie engraved for master, it's completely fine. And of course, and then the next lot is all limited spells. Lure of Darkness because we're running darks. Brain Control because it's brain control. Charge of the Light Brigade to search and to mill. Foolish Burial to send something. Heavy Storm for back row, and MST for back row. Look at that, look at those limited cards. This is ridiculous. So every time you're drawing something, you're typically drawing something ultra powerful and ultra useful. And that's another reason why I think this deck has a lot of potential. And the traps. So we've got double bottomless trap hole. Yeah, I mean, it's bottomless. It's typically pretty good. Phoenix Wing, so we can pitch Necrogana, we can pitch Plague, we can pitch a zombie to make Zombie Master alive. It's just that good of a card. Torrential, because it's torrential. And Dust Shoot. So you're probably wondering, you know, why there's some staples missing here. Like, where is the Mirror Force? Where is this? Where is that? I wanted lots of reactive traps that I could use immediately. Because, you know, MST, Heavy Storm, and other cards which pop back row exist in this, obviously exist in Edison. I didn't think I really missed Mirror Force in most cases. So, yeah, that was completely fine with that. But against like battle focused decks, I'll bring Mirror Force in. So side deck, let's go into the side deck first. So we've got, of course, double DD Crow. It's DD Crow. It could even be main deckable if there was enough room. It's just that good of a card. Mole is a great card. We can search with Sangan, but I never felt like I would want to side it in. There was no matchups, either, you know, in my fun thing with my friends or in a local tournament where I felt like, oh, I have to side in Mole to deal with this. It's never felt that way. So I might cut it in the near future, depending if I'm playing this again. Double Zombie World. This is my, I don't have Mask of Restrict, so this is Mask of Restrict at home. So essentially, you know, it stops frogs from using Monarchs. It stops, you know, Amaryllis from being able to do anything. It stops Dragon Turbo from being able to do anything. It's actually a really good card. Too bad I had two zombie matchups where it's, you know, it's kind of actually, you don't want to side this in the mirror, but hey. Yeah, it's still a good card. It actually came up once, so I thought it was all right. Lightning Vortex, just to deal with problematic cards. Mind Control, because I actually couldn't think of anything else to put in this spot. And Soul Release, which of course is crazy against most decks in the format. Yeah. So now going into the traps. Anti-Spell, I was heavily hating on Dragon Turbo, because if that deck gets going, it kind of stops you. So if you can anti-spell them, you know, you slow them down. It's just really good, along with the Zombie World, so that works really, really well. Dust Tornado for the back row decks. Compulse if I felt like I needed to be able to push back a bit. And Fiend Comedian because I like to gamble. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Where is my Mirror Force? I have Mirror Force in the side as well. I just realized. Hang on. There it is. Mirror Force. Like I said, for the battle focused decks. Mirror Force is obviously really good. It's a really good card anyway. But again, I didn't really feel like I needed to side it in that often. So that's how we go. All right. Extra deck. Mistworm, because it comes up. Some 8s, you know, Stardust, because it's Stardust. Thought Ruler, because it's Thought Ruler. Dark End, because we can make it with Caius and Plague. RDA to deal with stuff like your opponent's Spirit Reaper, or just, you know, they have a bunch of tokens and stuff like that. 7s, so we have Black Rose Dragon, because it's Black Rose. Airbelling is generic, and it goes with our hand ripping theme. It doesn't hand rip, it, you know, it Phoenix Wings them essentially, reset their draw all the time. If they didn't have anything one time, when are they going to have something else again? They're getting Yugioh. It's actually really good. And of course, since we have Summoner Monk and Lila, we can run Arcanite Magician, which is obviously a really good card. And, you know, even if they steal it, it can't pop itself. So they have to kind of get rid of it, or they give it back to you, and you're laughing. 6s, Brio, because it's Brio. Goyo, because it's Goyo. And of course, since we're running zombies, we can play Doom Kaiser, which I never summoned in the mirror, but here we go. Okay, I say mirror, there was Instant Zombies and Diva Zombie. I lost to Instant Zombies, but I beat Diva Zombie, so there we go. And of course, Hardez, which you're going to be able to stop basically anything that, when it dies by battle, is crazy. 5s, you know, your Android and your Catasta, pretty staple. And since we can technically make 4s with Plague and Raikou, we do run the Armory Arm as well. Never came up, but I like to have that option just in case. Yeah, so like, there's only like a couple of cards I would change. And I think some of my losses came down to sequencing more than anything. Of course, you can bring on air emblems and stuff, but that's just the nature of the beast. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for coming here and watching my little deck video. Yeah. See you guys. Peace.